check, check. Good morning, traders. This is Perry. Welcome to StartupTrading.com. It is 4 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, October 23rd. So looking back at yesterday's session, right, we had a spike in the VIX. We maintained above the previous day's high all overnight, and all, is probably, from the roll, obviously. But we got that little volatility spike. Remember, that's the date I was circled on my calendar for volatility to begin. We got a little earlier in the week, but again, my plan was to cut size by a third yesterday through the end of next week, and then have stops a little bit wider and targets a little bit longer. So as we look at yesterday, right, we come right back down and we tested this 600. Which is supposed to be resistance, right? But we've been above it, right? So resistance becomes support, blah, 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 blah. So we've checked off a 600. We come up and we closed around 605, 606, and we almost got right back into the expected low move of the day on the range for the close. We did it in the ES, right? So, just really a good flush out yesterday, in my opinion. And we cleared up some poor structure that was left below on the charts. Uh, Looking at where we are right now, yesterday's point of control was 67.37 quarter. We're currently trading about 4.5 points under that right now. So for the morning session after the initial bounce, you want to see if you've been able to maintain or clear above that, or if you're maintaining and holding below it. That's going to be the first indication. If you are maintaining above it, uh, 67.80 is going to be your target to the upside. Yesterday's bell high of the day was like 3 ticks under that, I believe. Yes, it was. The bell high of the day was. Oops, I got the extended turned on. Let's turn off the extended for a second. The bell high of the day yesterday uh, was at 79 quarter. So it was 3 ticks under that. So that's going to be your bogey. If we start maintaining above 67.37 quarter, that's going to be a spot that should get tested, which is going to be yesterday's high. Uh, and we'll have to see if any of the short sequences that are in play that Jack's going to identify for us are holding or breaking. That'll lead up to that as well. And you can see the expected high end of the range is right around yesterday's high for the Nasdaq in the ES, and the expected low point of the day is right at yesterday's low. So institutions yesterday at the close, right, they're like, I don't know what's going on. Let's just go for the same range. And that's what we got. So we'll see if it breaks or holds, right? But there's a high probability if we get any bid or anything that comes out of the government, there's more room, I think, for positive headline risk, if that makes any sense, because we're at those lower support checkbacks, right? So anything could flail this market higher and squeeze the bears a little bit. So we got clear identifiable things that we can watch today. So overnight, right, we're in value with everything except for the Dow, who was just basically holding between value area low and yesterday's bell low in the overnight session after that seller shut-off pattern that tested below there slightly in the overnight session. So positioning's a little wonky today. I'm not going to get too much in the cash market. Uh, there's not a lot to say. 6,700. We closed at basically 6,700 yesterday. We're basically unchanged at this point in time. So, uh, you know, which side of 6,700 on might we could just kind of go back and forth on this in the early goings, or we could just jet off of it one way or the other. But I would only look for a 25 point to 30 point plus or minus on that initially, and then kind of sit on your hands for a minute and see if it has any drive or desire to push, another 25 to 75 points either way. It may not. Um, in the overnight session, right? Also, we've come back in and we checked. We have a lot of gamma down at 602. That's kind of where we stop. So let me bring up back up the positioning. Let's get into the cues, right? You can see 602 is where a lot of the put demand is. That's the actually the put wall also for the day. Might have to clean that up. I might have misidentified it. Excuse me. So as we look at 602, status quo, you're going to have a couple ranges. You're going to 602 to 604 is going to be one section, right? Below 602, you get that retest of 600, and then you need uh, really that rising VIX again to maintain, and then you might only go down $1 to 5.99, and then you got a low volume node at 5.98, and then 5.97 to 5.94 is pretty wide open for today. But hold if 602 does hold today. You got the 602 to 604, which is really what I'm watching for status quo, and then 605 up to 608, and then you got a decision made to see if you can get to 6010. Beyond 610, I think you would need the falling VIX. You would need the VIX to go down. And to be honest with you, I would say 612 is probably around where we should top out for the day. But you can see for the week we got room up to um, 615, and for the day, I mean, just a FU trade would be trading up to 617. That would be a hell of a move. So let's see if we can get out of this funk of all of the consolidation here for the inside day first. But take it in those sections: 602 to 604, 605 to 608, 608 to 610, 610 to 612, and then you have to really get over that low volume node, which I don't know if we can today. So I think we beat up positioning a little bit. So let's see if we can get first over we've had about a almost an 80-point bounce off of this low, right? This is 602 or 603. I'm sorry. Remember, 602 should be the major support area for today. We stopped $1 above that. So on the if we take out this swing low, I wouldn't get too greedy for 20 to 40 more points. To be honest with you, I kind of sit on my hands, see if we get positive structure back up, and it could just be flash in the pan, but that's going to be your bogey. And then you know I think it's going to be a little bit difficult to test yesterday's low again down at that 600 mark. uh, so you really got to, it's going to take a lot to get through 602, I think. And then we'll see if we can get back up there. And remember, 612, 610 to 612 was a section up here. And then that 611 is the high expected range of the day. Not that that is the end all be all, but that lets you see what status quo is. So I want to see what Jack's looking at for these short sequences that have been in play so far the last couple sessions, and I want to see, where the break or hold lines are for those. I think that's going to be a little bit key, but I'd really keep your eye on the VIX. I like to watch the VIX the first probably 6, 7 sessions after the VIX roll for a little bit more of a, confirming direction one way or the other. But value area high is going to be right around that overnight high. Uh, for the Nasdaq, right? So you got the value area high zone that's between 136 and 196, basically, with that overnight high right there, and the overnight low still didn't even get down to value area low. That's going to be around 917. I hope this helps. We'll see what Jack's looking at next. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And we'll see if we actually get CPI tomorrow.